Rodriguez.
This is great stuff here in New York. What an amazing effort by both Rodriguez and Wolak. We come to the end of round number 9. We'll stay here and just listen in to their final instructions.
Yeah, the heck commercial. Let's stay here.
What's up, you guys? Welcome to SuperLeagueBoxing.com. It's your boy Jason Rodriguez, and as you can see, I am here live in the studio with a really good friend of mine. Honored to have him here in the studio with me for our first episode on our site, Mr. Delvin Rodriguez. What's up, brother?
Good.
All right, man.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, man. How you
Beautiful
doing?
we got here. Good. I've been good. You know, just like we were talking behind cameras, trying to get back in shape, and you know, missing the ring.
I mean, first of all, it looks like you're already in shape. But I know that I'm sure that you know you're used to walking around at the weight that you fight in, 154 pounds.
Yeah, usually, like I said, usually it'd be like 168. You know, the most 170, the most I've ever been walking around. But I've been out for a little bit now, so you know it's different. It's different.
First of all, man, I'm just grateful to be able to have you come down to the studio today, man. As you can see, this is the first time.
It's very nice.
The first broadcast.
It's very nice.
And we have Delvin Rodriguez in the house.
It's a good setup, man. Congratulations. It looks very nice, and I seen your website is picking up very quick. I mean, you're doing a good job, and like I said, I'm happy to be here. I'm glad you invited me over here.
Excellent. Now, my first question for you, and I'm sure that first question is one you get every time you get interviewed by someone. The first question is, what made you get into the sport of boxing? And before you answer that, the reason why I ask that is because some fighters say that they got into the sport of boxing because it was their lifesaver. It saved their life. You know, some who come from the streets say that if it wasn't for boxing, they don't know where they would be.
You know what? I think, like you say, I think for every fighter, it's almost like the same story. It is the savior. It's like, because I can say that for me, myself, you know. When I came to this country, I was like about 8 years old, you know. It's like I come from the Dominican Republic, and it's like coming to a whole different world. It's like you come here, it's like everything's totally different, and it was a way out, you know, and for, you know, some, maybe it'd be different ways, but it's always like every fighter when they start, you know, it's because it was like a way out. You know, boxing is always like a way out, you know, for a fighter. But and I gotta say that for myself. You know, I came from the Dominican Republic. I didn't speak the language. I didn't know the culture, the environment. It's totally different world, universe for me. And you know, I started going to the gym. Met a couple of friends at the school. First, like, you know, a couple of Latino friends that I met. You know, one of my best friends at that time. He used to live like really close to the gym, so we started going to the gym. I remember the first time I went to his house looking for him, he was at the gym. That's the first time I ever went into the boxing gym, because I was looking for him. And you know, that's how I started out. When I went into the gym, it was like taking a kid to a playground. That's how I felt at that time. I love the bag, I love the ring, I just love the competition, and just me arguing with my friend, because he was like very skinny dude. At that time I was very like a little chubby. I was stronger than him. And just looking at him so skinny, like, and him telling me that he could beat me, I'm like, it's impossible, you can't beat me. You know what I'm saying? That it started out that way. I love the competition. And of course, I went into the ring, and he was at the gym for a while, for years. He was playing with me, you know. I felt so stupid. Like, I felt like, oh my God, I can't believe this kid could beat me. And that's how I started out. I just kept going every day. And it went from there. You know, like, I'd say like 2 years after that, I was kicking everybody at the ring, you know. So it was definitely a savior for me at that time.
Excellent. So my next question is, why boxing? There's a lot of Dominicans. They don't, you know, I mean, you got a couple of them out there that fight, but the majority of them like to play baseball. So why boxing and not baseball?
Good question. You know, I was a good baseball player at that time. I was a pitcher at that time. And honestly, when I went to high school, I just saw like there was too much politics in baseball at the high school at that time in Danbury. Like, it was like there was not many Latinos at that time, so it was totally different at that time. I don't want to say that we're racist, but that's how it felt at that time, because you could see that we had like great players at that time in high school. They would not pick, forget about it, no matter what. They never picked them into a team. So I kind of saw that, and then when I went to high school, I was already more advanced in boxing than baseball. So I chose boxing, and I was just known to. I was already known, very well known, in the boxing world in Connecticut. You know, I fought the Junior Olympics 5 times. I won the Junior Olympics 5 times. I had to go to New York because there was no more competition in Connecticut, and then I went to Michigan for the national. So I was already much more developed into boxing than baseball. So I got stuck with boxing.
So coming up in you know, coming up in the sport and learning everything that you learned, I mean, you were classified as one of the greatest amateur champions.
Yeah.
I mean, in the country. At what point did you realize, after gaining that status, that you wanted to become a pro?
Man, it was, you know, to this day, still like, you know, I still talk about it. And it was a mistake for me, you know, going to the pros. It was just I just me listening to people that I should never listen to, you know. At that time, like I said, I was a kid that came from nothing, you know, from the Dominican Republic. I didn't have the knowledge. I didn't have, you know, I didn't recognize, you know, what was good, what was bad at that time. And I turned pro because, you know, like you said, I was already known, very well known as an amateur, and I got the respect by going to a pro. So I already have people behind me trying to get me into the pros, and I think that's what really pushed me more into the pros.
Going into the pros, I mean, did you ever consider going into the Olympics?
That was my dream. Honestly, that was like my dream. As a matter of fact, I used to train for that. I never thought about the pros. When I was at the gym, like every day, like they had to throw me out of the gym. Like, even on Saturday, I want to be there on Sundays, you know, because they closed the gym on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, where I used to go at PAL gym. But then I got really close with the guy that run the gym, and he gave me a key. So I used to go to the gym every day. So I didn't train. I never even thought about going pro. I just trained to go to the Olympics. You know, that was my dream. But like I say, I was misinformed by some people, and I listened to the wrong people in my career, and I made that big mistake going to the pros. I had, as a matter of fact, I had Holyfield who wanted to sponsor me at that time. When I first turned pro, I went to Holyfield camp for like 2 years, and he told me, you know, he wanted to sponsor me for the Olympics. So I had everything already set up, and I just listened to the wrong person.
I mean, you've been on the big stage, and
good feeling. It's a good feeling. It's a great feeling.
I'm sure it is, because you know you have lived a life, and you still living that life because you're still an active fighter.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't heard of you announcing any retirement yet.
Not yet, no.
But yo, so you're still an active fighter. You know what it's like to fight in the amateurs and then to move up in the ranks and to be you know, to compete at
elite level.
At the elite level.
Yeah.
I mean, so what is that feeling like? Walking into a coliseum with thousands of people screaming your name. What does that feel like?
I miss that right now. So no, it's people. You know, you as a fan, if you never boxed, it's hard to understand this. But when you training for a fight, when I used to be up at camp for like 8 weeks training, it was the hardest thing. It's the hardest thing in boxing. It's the training, the dedication, the discipline. You know, that's the hardest thing about boxing. But once you in shape, you like a week away from the fight, when you, like you said, when you go into the arena and thousands of people, that is like going to the party. That's the fun part about the sport. You know, that's what you miss, because the training is very hard, the discipline is very hard. But once you're ready, you feel ready, you're confident that you're ready, you train the right way, and you go into a fight, you take the plane to the fight, you at the hotel, that is like the best feeling, you know. And then you walk into the ring where you hear thousands of people yelling your name, and just, you know, excited about the fight. That's the best feeling ever. You know, I think every fighter misses that, you know.
How hard is it to stay disciplined and focused at the task at hand? Because, you know, sometimes you just want to go out and eat some McDonald's. Man. Sometimes you want to go out and get drunk. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you want to live that reckless lifestyle. But in order to be great, and in order to get to the level that you've been in, it takes discipline and sacrifice. How hard is that to maintain?
so difficult, man. It's so hard, man. Especially for us Latino, you know, there's always parties around us. There's always, you know, all these things that could take your focus in a way, you know, it could just throw you off. And this is the reason why I always say this. This is the reason why I always admire I can't even think his name now. Mayweather.
Oh yeah, Floyd.
This is the reason why I admire a fighter like that. And people like, you know, have conversation, have argument with people on Facebook, and I let them understand. I kind of explain to them how it is. Because you think about it, this Floyd was on top for 20 years. World champion for 20 years in like 4 different divisions. All the money in the world, he can have whatever he wants, but he is still dedicated to the sport, you know. And like you said, you need that to be able to maintain, to be a champion. You can't do it without that dedication. You know what I'm saying? So how can you not admire a guy like that? He has everything he wants. He got everything in the world, all the girls in the world, all the women in the world, all the trips he wants, every house card, everything. He has everything. He has the fame, and he still wakes up at 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning to run.
And get out there to run.
He still got the dedication. How can you not admire a fighter like that?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be crazy. If you're a boxing fan, you have to admire somebody like that. I don't care if he talks a lot. It doesn't matter. He still proves himself all the time. So, to answer your question, it's very difficult. It's very difficult. Me, I used to be in camp. I remember when I used to be in Lake George in the winter. I used to go below 0, man. 0. You know, you waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning when it's 10 below 0. It's not easy, man. They come back, rest a little bit, go back to the gym, and then 5, 6 o'clock at night, you got to go to the gym again, you know, or do some sprints in the cold weather. So you can only imagine how hard it is to have the discipline. And this is what this comes back again to a boxer. If you're not hungry, if you're too comfortable, it's very hard for you to make it, you know, because you got to be hungry. So it's like a whole circle. You got to be hungry to make it, and then it comes back to the discipline that Mayweather has. This guy's extremely comfortable, but he still got the discipline.
You know, that leads what you just mentioned into the next question that I have for you. Hungry.
You have to.
I've seen you fight many a times. I've seen you, you know, and man, that fight you had with Wolak, Paula,
Yeah.
the Russian kid. Incredible fight.
I showed you again, that fight, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that fight, before I forget, that fight, it shows you again, you got to be hungry to give the best of you. That fight was just me coming up, my first fight coming up as a 154. And it just stuck to my mind, like, you know, how people thought that he was just going to run right through me. It was just a challenge. And I was still hungry, like, I really wanted that fight. You know, and as you saw the fight, it was like a non-stop.
Yep.
You know, it was non-stop. So it's part of the boxing for you to really shine and give the best. You got to want it 100%. Otherwise, you cannot cheat boxing. It's impossible.
So how do you stay hungry? Where does your drive, your zeal, and your hunger come from? Because like you said, you could get to a point where you were fighting your way to get to a certain level. But then when you get there, you get a little something.
And then you kind of lose that.
You kind of lose that focus. And there's a lot of fighters out there like that.
Yeah, a lot. Now let me give you another reason why, which this is one of the main reasons as well. And I'm talking for myself on this one. I was always hungry, right? I always prepare myself when I went to ring, but there was so many things that happened during my career. Like you get so devastated where you're like, you know what? Why am I doing this for? And I think there was like 2 times in my career where that happened. You know, where I didn't have the right manager, where I had problem with my promotion, where I'm fighting fights that I know for sure that it's worth $300,000, $400,000, and I'm getting paid maybe $150,000. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that for a fighter is devastating, man. You go in the worst. This is the worst. I have 4 fights in my career that I'm sure you can sit down and you analyze the fights, punch by punch, and you know that I won the fight. So you go train for 2 months, and you know, and it's a very important fight, and you know you don't get the decision. When I fought for the world title at the Mohegan, first world title I fought, I won that fight, you know, that fight taken him for me, that was like, oh my God, like, I was so devastated. I didn't want to go back to the ring. I didn't want to train, you know. I really had to push myself to get up and start doing it, because I felt like I felt at that time like it was just me starting all over again. It was just starting all over again. And then your mind start thinking like, oh, well, I gotta go to this now, and I gotta go fight this guy to get to that position. That's like, I think that's like number one reason why some other fighters don't make it. You know, they don't make it to the top, to the max they reach, because bad decisions and problems with your team.
I mean, I've always known you as being a warrior in the ring. And when you get into the ring, it's like a switch you turn on, because you become, I mean, it's disgusting. I mean, your body, shots, your hooks, your jabs, your movement in the ring. I mean, you understand how to operate in the ring. With that said, before you step into the ring, before that first bell, rings, does it ever cross your mind and you say to yourself, how the hell did I end up here? What the hell did I get myself into?
At the beginning, when I was, like I said, when I was 100% there, when I was focused, when I was hungry, no, I didn't. I was just like, I was ready to kill. You know, like if you saw my fights at the beginning, it's like, I was just ready to kill. I never thought about what the other guy was gonna do. What was I doing? I was like, yo, I want to fight. I want to fight. I was so excited to fight. Later on down the road in my career, yes, there was time, like I told you, where I was very disappointed, for one reason or the other. And I was in there was time when I was in the locker room, and I was like, what the hell am I doing here? Honestly. I remember there was like 4 fights. And I'm like, what the hell am I doing here? And unfortunately, this is very unfortunately, that one of my biggest fights in my whole career was one of the time where I'm like, yo, what the hell am I doing? Why am I doing this? Because it was like one of the worst camp I ever had for one of the biggest fights of my career.
What fight was that?
That's when I fought Miguel Cotto. Fights that people always bring up because, of course, it's Cotto. It was very well.
Big name in the sport.
Big name in the sport. And
great opportunity.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And not anyone can get there, but you did.
Yeah, you're right. People look at it that way. I don't look at it that way. I look at it that way. I got there, but it doesn't matter. I got there. Because I didn't do half of my potential, not even a quarter. You know what I mean? Because things were not managed right. Things were not right. Boxing is it's not a game. It's like when you go there, like I said, you cannot cheat it. You gotta go there 100%. Otherwise, it's gonna show in the show. You know what I'm saying? It will show if you didn't prepare right. It's gonna show. Once you step into that ring, if you didn't run right, if you didn't train right, if you didn't spar right, everything's gonna show. You cannot cheat. You cannot lie. So that, like I said, one of the biggest fights in my career was one of the worst camp I ever had. So stuff like that is situations that devastate a fighter and that breaks you down, and that it'll kind of it beats you down. You know what I'm saying? It beats you down, and I kind of let that happen. I mean, I get mad at myself now that I kind of let that happen, but it's part of the game.
What has boxing taught you in life? Like, what have you learned from the sport of boxing that you have applied to your life, to your day-to-day living?
Makes you strong, man. Boxing gives you a strong mind. Like boxing, if you can get to that ring and reach that level that I got, you feel like you do everything. You can do anything you put your mind to, you can do it in this world. Like anything, any challenge. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. Because you start thinking of all the stuff you go through in boxing, and when you go in the ring, it's like it's such a different feeling. I cannot explain it. You gotta do it yourself to be able to understand it. I can sit here for hours and hours trying to explain how does it feel to be in the ring. You're not gonna get it. You know what I mean? It might seem simple from the outside, but even the way you think, even when you walk into that ring, your mind is totally different, you know.
All right, so my next question is, if there was one fighter that you can pick right now to fight, who would that be?
Right now?
Right now.
Canelo.
Canelo.
Yeah.
So you wanna, you already beat his brother. So now you want to beat Canelo as well?
Yeah, I think it's a great challenge. He's a fighter that I also admire because he kind of grew into the sport, and he kind of grew into the Class A level. You know, he's a fighter that, as each fight that I saw of him, he developed. He kept developing. Like last fight he did this bad, but now he corrected himself, and that's the reason why I say the second fight when he fought Triple G, he was going to beat Triple G. Mm-hmm. You know, people were arguing about it, and you know, I made a video for ESPN, and I say Canelo, he's only getting better. Triple G already reached his max. Yep. He cannot adjust. Those mistakes that he made in the first fight, they're only going to get worse. Which happened. The second fight, he couldn't stay with Canelo in the hot pocket. He was being a boxer, you know. So me, Canelo, I think Canelo is a
Canelo.
It's not just a good money fight, but it's also a challenge for myself.
Okay, all right. So my next question for you is, what is it like working for ESPN as a boxing analyst?
It's a blessing, man. You know, it's a blessing. I thank every day. We got a great team at ESPN. I give God thanks every day because I'm doing what I love, and I'm getting good, well paid for it. I mean, we have a great team. People have taught me so much in ESPN. You know, when I first got into ESPN, I would say like 7 years ago. I looked at this video and like I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed with myself. So, you know, they treat me very, very good. So I'm very happy to be working for ESPN.
Excellent, excellent. Now, who's your favorite active fighter right now in the sport?
Canelo, and there's some good young fighters coming up. You know, I mean, there's a lot of good young fighters coming up. I like Tank Davis is a good fighter. Mm-hmm. I like that young kid that Oscar has now. What's his name? Ryan. Mm-hmm. He's still got a lot to learn, but he has a lot of talent. He has speed and power. There's a lot of good talents out there, but I think, like I said before, the face of boxing will be Canelo right now.
What do you think about Lomachenko, and what do you think about Terrence Crawford?
Tough guy.
Tough guys.
Man, Lomachenko, very, very, very skilled guy. I mean, you're not gonna. It's hard to see somebody like that. You see guys like that in 2 or 3 decades. To see somebody with that technique that he has, or the ability that he has. Mm-hmm. Now, Crawford is totally different. This guy, he's mean. He's mean.
He's tough, man.
He's tough, man. He's tough. Listen, he can punch and he can take a punch.
Yes, he can.
You know, so he's gonna be there for a while, man.
Yeah.
You know, he's gonna be. I see him being a champion for a while.
I think he became a 2-division world champion.
Yes.
In what, 5 fights?
Yes. So he's gonna be there for a while. I mean, this kid, like I say, I seen him take good punches, and when he hits, he'll take you out. He'll take you out with one punch. So he's gonna be there for a while.
What other things you like to do besides boxing?
I like music.
Music.
I like music a lot. Yeah, I like to write music a lot. I don't think many people know this about me, but yeah, that really I mean, it takes a lot away from my I could be having a really bad day, but if I pick up my guitar and I sit down.
You know what? That's what I was alluding to, because I heard a rumor that you play guitar.
I play a little bit, you know. I play a little bit, just for me. Like I like to just write songs, and I like stuff like that.
Excellent, excellent. So, I mean, after boxing is over, you know, and a point comes up in a person's career, man, where you gotta, you know, hang up the gloves. What do you see yourself doing after the sport is over and no longer a part of your life? Meaning as a fighter.
As a fighter.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully, ESPN keeps giving me the opportunity to keep working with them. You know, we just got a new contract with ESPN, which is all the way to 2025. So I'm happy about that. You know, hopefully, like I say, I keep growing in ESPN. I think that's my my number one thing right now. Just growing and getting better at what I do as a boxing analyst.
How hard is it to be a boxing analyst? I mean, because you got to have a whole lot of knowledge about the sport. And what is it that you do to keep yourself current?
Well, I think that's the main thing. I mean, if you know, you see, I learned this. I never forget what this Joe from ESPN told me. Joe Tosatori. I'm sure you know him. I never forget what he told me. He said, Delvin, this is before I even started thinking of going to ESPN. But I always talk to him about that, you know, because I like the way he does. You know, he's a play-by-play guy. He's not the analyst, but he's a play-by-play.
Yep.
And he also knows a lot about boxing, and he knows his job very well. Well, I don't know how it came to, the conversation came, but I never forget what he told me this. I said, honestly, Delvin, you can know all you know in boxing. But if you don't tell people, if you don't communicate people what's going on and why it's happening, forget about what's going on, he told me. Forget about what's going on, but why it's happening. You know what I'm saying? And me, with the knowledge I have, I've been boxing since I was 9 years old. You know, I can see a punch and I know what happened, why it happened. And I think that always stuck to my mind, and I think that has helped me a lot. Well, you know, you got to explain to people on TV, like you're talking to a child, why is this happening? You know what I'm saying? So I think that it has helped me a lot. And like I say, I am very grateful that I'm working with ESPN. I hope, you know, to keep growing and just getting better.
Excellent. Now, not to sidetrack from our discussion in regards to boxing, but let's talk about your club, man. Let's talk about Zona Azul in Danbury, Connecticut. It's a hot spot. It's an attraction.
Yes.
You know, I see everything that's posted on Facebook and Instagram, and I mean, your place is hopping, man. Yeah,
man. It kind of be good and bad at the same time. You know how they say. You know, like you said, it's been hot for 2 years. Thank God, you know, people has given me incredible support. Sometimes I get new people in there, you know, once in a while that I don't really know, but most of the people that go there is, you know, people that I know for a long time, people that follow me as a boxer in my career. It's been good, man. It's been such an experience. Just what I wanted. I really want to. That's always been like a dream of mine, like a passion of mine. I always want to have like my own club. You know, I think I did it at the wrong time. Honestly speaking, because that doesn't go boxing and that doesn't go. You know. But it's been a great experience. 2 years now at Zona Azul. Zona Azul 103 Railroad Place in Denver, Connecticut, just so people know. It's been a great experience, but I think I'm done. I'm just about done. I think I had enough already. 2 years. I'm trying to get rid of it, sell it, and I want to take some time off. Rest, and train, get back in shape.
How many fights do you think you have left?
I say that I won't go past 2020. If I start training, let me correct myself. Because I started training, right? I started training. I don't have any fights in mind right now. I just want to get back in shape, honestly. I just want to get back in shape, and I want to start sparring. I want to go to the city and spar the top guys, the young guys. That's how you know how you feel. You know what I mean? That's how you know what you got, what you got left. You know, last fight I had, I just, like I said, I didn't really care. Which is last fight that I had at the Mohegan. You know, I didn't really care for it. You know, I took it like, whatever, you know.
That was Courtney Pennington, I think, right?
Yes, I'm gonna go through the process, you know, that's it. Right now, it's like I said, I just want to get back in shape.
So, with all your experience and all your knowledge, what can you say to aspiring boxers who are trying to get to the level that you've been in?
Well, like we were talking about first, is discipline. Discipline is number one. Discipline and motivation. If you don't have it, forget about it. You're not gonna go anywhere. I'm telling you, you're not gonna go anywhere. If you don't have the discipline and the motivation, just don't waste your time. You're taking time away from yourself. You could be doing something else. You could be doing some other, take on another career instead of wasting 6 years of your life, and then you realize you can't do anything with your boxing career because you don't have the fire, you don't have the discipline. You find out right away, you know. The first time you have second thoughts, you know, just let it go because it's not gonna work. You gotta be hungry. You gotta need it, otherwise it's not gonna go nowhere. Train, you know, training and it goes back to the discipline.
Have you ever considered becoming a trainer yourself?
Yes, I know. I have this project in mind that I have. It's not gonna be like, you know, maybe I would say in the next, I'll say 5 years down the road, where I want to train, but I want to train just to help out kids because, you know, if you go back to where I come from, there's a lot of help. There's a lot of help needed over there. And who knows? You never know. There's a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent over there, but they don't have help. And I think I can help all that. I think I have the right foundation to start training kids, which is the most important stuff. The most important when you start training a fighter is the foundation, because you can mess up the talent. You can just mess it up by giving them the wrong instructions and teaching them the wrong way of standing up, your balance. Some people, I see some trainers where they start the fighters, they throw all kinds of crazy combinations without getting their foundation right. So yeah, I think down the road, maybe like I'm 45 or something like that. You know.
All right. So we're about to wrap it up.
All right.
But in closing, I just want to ask you a couple of what I call shotgun questions. All right?
All right.
Shotgun questions. Let me see how many I have here. I have 6 of them. First one, what's your favorite song?
You get me like, what, are you serious, Delvin? But if you're like, I only listen to Spanish music.
So which one? What's your favorite song? Who's your favorite? I mean, is it?
There's too many.
Too many?
There's many.
You got to give me one.
I don't have a favorite, honestly. A favorite song because I like salsa, I like bachata, I like merengue, I like dembow is this club thing. I don't. You're never gonna see me at my house listening to dembow or reggaeton. I don't.
Oh, okay.
That's just something when I go to the club that, you know, something. But I'm more like an old person, like in a young body, because honestly, because I like the old songs, man. Like I like the old style, you know, really old style. So
yeah,
I don't really have a favorite song.
Okay. Next question. What's your favorite movie?
Wow. Favorite movie? Do I have one? I do have one. Man, you got me. You getting me at these questions. Hey, that's a good movie right there, though.
That is a good movie, but you can't pick my favorite movie.
Scarface is a good movie. I like that movie. But to be honest, my favorite movie, believe it or not, because that was like the first movie that I ever saw that was so hyped, was Predators.
Predators?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next question. What's your favorite food?
My favorite food, Italian food. I love Italian food.
It's my favorite food.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite food. I mean, you can't go wrong with arroz, habichuela y carne. But mango, it's good. But you know, I think Italian is my favorite food.
Okay. Besides boxing, what's your favorite sport?
Baseball.
Baseball?
Yeah.
Yeah, and your team is what? Yankees?
I gotta be a Yankee, you know.
I'm a Yankee fan. Don't worry.
Yankee. Yeah, I always had argument with the Dominicans. You know, they're really into Boston, but I always been with the Yankees. I gotta say I haven't been following that much though. But if any other sport besides boxing, I would say baseball. Yeah.
Next question. What's your favorite car?
Favorite car? You know, not really into.
Not really into cars?
No, not that much. Not that much. I like Beamers.
Beamers?
Yeah, I like Beamers.
Okay. Okay. Last time I seen you, driving a Porsche though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I like Beamers better.
BMWs?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. And the final question: what's the favorite thing you like to read?
The favorite thing I like to read. I just got into politics not too long ago. I don't know why. That's not, the last thing I read about was about politics. You know, it's not because I want to get into politics. It's because it's very interesting, and you don't realize what's really going on around you until you start reading it. You know, now like I get into the shows, and the last thing that I was reading is politics, and it's very interesting what's really going on around the world. You know, I was really stunned, but like honestly, it was like very surprised. Things that I was never like, I never paid mind to. Like, I don't care about that. You know, and now, if you start reading about it, it's like, man.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm into stuff like that, and I'm also into like stuff where, just like stuff that you don't. It's not like everyday things. Things that you learn, things that you learn that you like that I know about. It could be history back in the days. That's like the only thing that I get into reading, honestly.
Yep. And one last question in closing. If Delvin Rodriguez had the opportunity to live his life all over again, your career path, would it be boxing or something else?
I think it probably would have been baseball.
Baseball?
Yeah. I think that day that I decided, oh, forget baseball, I'm not gonna go with baseball, I'm gonna go with boxing. I think I would like, no, I'm gonna stay with baseball. Or maybe stuck with boxing, but then I would have decided going to the Olympics. I would have just given everything to go to the Olympics. Even if I haven't, even at that time, even if you qualified for the Olympics, he was good. Mm-hmm. I mean, look at Oscar de la Hoya. He won the Olympics. But at that time, even if you qualified for the Olympics, he was good.
Excellent, excellent. Well, Delvin, appreciate the opportunity,
Thank
man.
you. Thank
Truly,
you,
truly appreciate you coming up to the studio, sitting down with me for a one-on-one interview.
Me too, man. It's nice. I told you I was glad you invited me, and we'll do it anytime.
You know, it's nice that when I hit you up, I mean, you didn't even hesitate about it. You said, let's go, let's do it.
No, come on. You know, like I say, the first time we met, you know, I seen your work, and I seen how much you like the sport, and how much you put into the sport. And stuff like that, you gotta appreciate. So, as a professional boxer, you have to appreciate it. And like I said, I'm glad and happy that you invited me.
Thank you, man. And also, I just want to thank you guys for watching. Right now, Delvin Rodriguez in the studio with Jason Rodriguez, SuperLeagueBoxing.com. Our first live broadcast on Facebook, man. I want to thank you guys who sat it out with us for the past 45 minutes, 49 minutes, watching the exclusive interview with Delvin Rodriguez. Again, brother, thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
And look forward to hanging out with you sometime.
Right.
I didn't forget about you taking me to the Dominican Republic either. Thank you guys for watching. God bless.